All right, folks, welcome back to another episode of Emotional Intelligence for Politics and Media. I am your host, Dr. Jay Houston. We are joined today by our folks from Make America Great Again, our
All right,
folks
all
who
right, all
identify
right.
as liberal,
Wakanda
and of course,
forever.
our esteemed colleagues from mainstream Republicans. Gentlemen, once again, welcome back. Our
Yes, sir.
topics for
Glad.
today: loyalty, kleptocrats, and of course, the
What?
war in Iran. Let's get to it.
Let's go. Oh man, kleptocrats, Democrats, army hats, sewer rats. Y'all just making up stuff to try to make yourself sound smart. Ain't y'all the main ones we talk about? We need to get our luggage together because we need to run for the hills because the sky is falling because Trump is president and oh my God, ain't nothing happening. Ain't you still taking your kids to soccer practice like always? Aren't you good enough and going to work? Brushing your teeth? The sky is falling if you listen to liberals. It's Chicken Little time. My God, y'all just sound like a bunch of damn idiots. All the
Yeah,
time.
well, sewer rats notwithstanding, I believe Nancy Pelosi had a lot of
Right.
explaining to do when it came to
Right.
insider trading.
Here we
And
go.
you mentioned the book. Trayon White got in a lot of legal hot water right here in D.C., and Democrats still supported him.
Oh my God! Well, at least you finally read the book after 9 episodes, but you guys are still being myopic on this topic.
Yeah.
Let me explain.
Okay, guys, look. So many things happened between our last episode and now. I had to bring my laptop just for notes. Okay, what you should be able to see about narcissists is a demand for attention, like wanting your face on the side of a building, wanting airports in the Kennedy Center renamed after you, a Napoleonic arch, and of course, the ballroom. What you can't see about narcissists is the demand for loyalty. If you don't show loyalty, he gets into it with Spain or the Pope, an American skier, even a dead actor, Rob Ryan. In terms of predictions on the book saying we were going to get into it with the war because we got Trump as our leader, that is absolutely true. Is the war just a front for cover up for the Epstein files and to be able to appease our Middle Eastern donors and Hexleth as a Christian nationalist? Yes, that's true. But we're still getting into it. Did this book absolutely nail once again that he was going to reshape our government? The DOJ, the FBI. The DOJ is going after E. Jean Carroll. The FBI does whatever, Cash Patel does whatever Trump wants. Full stop. And then lastly, the IRS. It's not just that $1.776 billion, which may not happen, was going to go to people loyal to Trump. But then he said, I don't want the IRS to ever investigate me again, which looks like that's going to stick. Now, who else besides a criminal, besides a corrupt politician, would not want the IRS to ever investigate them? So some things should be obvious about what we can see about a narcissist. Some things are not so obvious. And a kleptocrat would love to be able to change their rules in their favor to be able to get away with all the corrupt things that they would like to do with our money. Liberal, once again, thank you for your detailed rebuttal. As we can see on the screen, the connections between the personality disorder of narcissism and the actions and behavior of autocrats and kleptocrats are not new to our human society. MSR, yes, there have always been certain amounts of illegalities in all levels of government, and some of these politicians, even after being found guilty of crimes, have indeed continued to garner support of their former constituents. MAGA, to your original point, narcissists operate by having their enablers and target argue from the validity and the insanity of each other's perspective, which you see as chicken little. From my personal experience and research, what narcissists do not want under any circumstance are their enablers and targets sharing notes, sharing information.
All right.
And as long as we are all continuing to still go to work, brush our teeth in the morning, and take our kids to soccer practice, then kleptocrats can always get away with abusing our governmental system for their own personal finances with no resistance. Our last segment on the topic of Trump's penchant for corruption comes from the former U.S. pardon attorney, Liz Oyer. Her details of Form 278T are key. Let's have a listen.
Hey everybody, if there's anyone in your life who still needs proof that Donald Trump is looting our government, there's something I'd like you to show them. This is called Form 278T, also known as a periodic transaction report. Government officials, including the president, are legally required to complete this form every time they buy or sell a stock or bond worth more than $1,000. The goal is to prevent conflicts of interest between their official duties and their personal financial interests. In May, Trump filed a Form 278T for the first quarter of 2026. It is 113 pages long, and it lists more than 3,600 stock trades between January and March. Trump bought and sold hundreds of millions of dollars in stocks, including big tech, defense contractors, media companies, crypto, and more. What's notable about this is not just that Trump is really rich, it's that he is heavily invested in companies whose businesses are directly affected by policies he is making. He is actively trading in their stocks at the same time he is making decisions that influence the value of those stocks. For example, Trump invested in both Paramount and Warner Brothers while his Justice Department is reviewing their proposed merger. He invested in Oracle at the same time he brokered their deal to buy TikTok. He invested in Palantir as they were awarded major government contracts worth over $1 billion. Trump is also buying crypto stocks while he is pushing a bill called the Clarity Act, which would help crypto companies. One of Trump's biggest buys was millions of dollars in Nvidia stock. Nvidia makes advanced AI chips, which they have been trying to sell to China for years. The US government has restricted the sale to protect our national security, but Nvidia's CEO lobbied Trump for months to change that policy, and in December, Trump agreed. Then Trump went a step further. This week, he took Nvidia's CEO to China with him on Air Force One to sell their AI chips to the Chinese government. Nvidia's stock price has now gone up 26% since January. Trump also took the CEO of Boeing to China with him after buying millions of dollars of Boeing stock. On the trip, they sold 200 Boeing airplanes to the Chinese government. It is impossible to look at this and not ask, is Trump actually acting in the interests of the American people, or is he placing his own financial interests first? Other presidents have chosen to sell off their stocks or place them in a blind trust to avoid conflicts of interest, but Trump has refused to do that. The definition of corruption is using official power for private gain. By that measure, Trump is hands down the most corrupt president in history. The Form 278T is a roadmap to the ways he is personally profiting from the powers of the presidency. Please spread the word. Thanks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, whether or not this is your first time hearing about this, we will cover the media and why the media is not covering this a lot more, and why you're hearing about it possibly from social media for this first time. Next up, Media Topics. I am Dr. J. Houston. Thank you once again for joining us. Have a great day.